I'm
Nigeria, like many of the Western African countries and African countries in general, has a history of colonialism. Nigeria was a British colony, and after the end of the colonial period, the British kind of carved it up into areas that they thought were appropriate, with the aim of seeking to prevent a unified, cohesive government so that the governments which existed not only here but throughout the entire colonial world were in fact dependent upon foreign powers for their existence and stability. Not surprisingly, immediately after independence or shortly thereafter, there was a large civil war which is not even fully resolved until this particular day. Nigeria is a country that's very wealthy in oil, one of the biggest oil producers in the world, and massive oil revenues are generated, but basic things such as infrastructure are sorely lacking within the city. For example, power cuts are routine. You might have 1 or 2 hours worth of power in a day, and that's considered to be good. So what many or most of the buildings that have to rely upon power do is use photovoltaic energy, which is solar cells, as well as diesel generators. This building and almost every hospital, every office building, every government building has massive diesel generators which are on in order to provide basic electricity for the building, which means that not only is there an electric bill, but there's also a massive diesel bill. So and that's if you're fortunate enough to have a diesel generator. And even stalls on the side of the road use generators in order to conduct their business. The roads here are quite challenging to navigate because there's not many lanes. So people just sort of drive whatever portion of the road they want to go on, and the motorbikes, which act as taxis, and as they do in many developing nations, in some cases just go right alongside the main road. Matter of fact, I was walking yesterday and there was an older gentleman who's actually attempting to regulate on those motorcyclists that were going along the sidewalk at rather high speeds. And that brings us to another aspect of Nigerian culture. It seems to a very large degree that it's still very tribal in nature, and you have a massive Christian population and you have a massive Islamic population. Matter of fact, there's these massive mega churches which I pass by on my daily walks, and it was very appealing to perhaps go and experience salvation and redemption. Unfortunately, I did not have sufficient time, so I remain unsaved and unredeemed as I leave the country. It's not an easy country to navigate unless you have a host, but what I would recommend to anyone traveling is to have a particular hobby that connects you to the local population. In my case, salsa dancing is one of the things which I really enjoy, and I found that there was a vibrant salsa community here in Lagos, and if I did a small amount of work to seek it out, I was able to join in with that. So if you're a traveler who enjoys connecting with local people in sort of an authentic way, have a hobby, whether it's cooking, whether it's, drone racing, whether it's salsa dancing, or whether it's playing a particular type of music. That will create an environment where you're able to interact in those communities in a way that's very welcoming and very warm, and that was certainly my experience here.
babudo, me mote de kurenye.